What's up, soldiers? Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com. Always a pleasure having you guys here in the kitchen with me. We are doing coconut curry papaya. Now, as a kid growing up in the islands, we call it papaya or pawpaw. Everybody call it papaya. But anyhow, meat-free Mondays. All in all was coming back, and I'm coming back hard. You're gonna love this one, man. And we've got two green papaya. We've got to break them down, so we're going to cut off the top. That's going to go into the rubbish. And we're going to cut the bottom. That's going to go into the rubbish. Then we're going to go like so. Down. We're just going to reveal all the peppery sort of seeds. That's going to go into the rubbish as well. So what we'll do is hit them. Yep, that's all over the kitchen floor, ladies and gentlemen. So guess who've got a mess to clean up now? Uncle Chris. But anyhow, that is what we're going to do there. Then we need a tablespoon. And we're just going to scrape all of that out. I'm really making a mess. But say what, small thing. So I've got it all done there. We need a paring knife or a potato peeler. And you would remove the skin. If this is fresh off the tree, it will have a sort of a milky sap. You'll want to either wear gloves or, let's scrape this down here for a second into the, or coat your hands with some good old vegetable oil to form a protective barrier, and 1-inch cubes, like so. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is ready to go. We're gonna give it a rinse, and I'm gonna break down the rest of it. I've got my pot here on a medium heat, and I'm going in with 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Gonna move that around, let that melt down in there. And I'm gonna go in now with a large shallot that I sliced up. I'm gonna turn my heat down to low, and I'm gonna let that cook for 2 minutes just to flavor further that coconut oil. It's time to hit it with some fresh ground black pepper. And I'm going to do this curry a little bit different than I've done other curries before. And if you've seen my other curry dishes, you'll right away start picking up on what I'm doing differently. My heat's still on low. I'm going to go in with my homemade curry powder. Use your favorite curry powder. I've got 2 tablespoons of that curry powder. Heat's still on low, as I said. And we're going to sort of wet toast it in that oil just to bring out all the flavors of that nice curry powder. And I've got anchar masala. I'm going to go in with a teaspoon of that, and that is heavy on roasted cumin. So if you can't source that anchar masala, your favorite West Indian Caribbean grocery store will have that. If they don't have that, you may want to rethink what is your favorite there. I'm just saying. Anyhow, check online, you'll find it as well. Low heat, and let that go for about 3 minutes. You want to toast and cook out the rawness of the curry there. Your kitchen should have the wonderful aroma of a good curry happening there. Now remember, if you're doing this gluten-free, to read the label of the curry powder that you used. You want to be sure that it's proper and waiting for your gluten-free dietary needs. Some of them have flour as a filler. 1 teaspoon of Caribbean green seasoning. We're going to give it that herbal note. Just going to give it 1 more minute after adding that Caribbean green seasoning. Add 1 more stir. Crank up the heat to medium-high now. And here's where we're going to start adding cubed up, washed papaya or papaya pieces. A little bit of water in there is cool as well too. Don't fret. And all we're going to do now is just move that around. Everything is coated nicely. So here is where we're going to introduce coconut milk. And that's going to be a rich curry. Whenever you add coconut milk to that business there, man, I'm telling you, it's pure fire. Give it a good stir. We want to bring that up to a boil now. It will take about 4 or 5 minutes to come up to a boil. Once it comes up to a boil, you're going to reduce it to sort of a rolling boil. And ever so often, you want to tuck the pieces of papaya I keep wanting to say Papaya. I'm a country boy at heart, you know. Down. In case you're wondering, I had 2 cups of coconut milk and 1 cup of water in there. I've got here some what they call chili pepper. I'm not just calling it a big bird pepper, to be honest with you. It's a nice big pepper, not too spicy, seeds and everything. And we need salt, that is sea salt. You all thought I forgot about the salt. Tuck everything down. If you wanted to put a lid on here, you can certainly do that. I might have had a bit of an accident and I broke the lid a while back, but I'll MacGyver something. We want this to cook until it's nice and tender and falling apart. Later on we'll check it for salt, but for now, let that just bubble right up in there. It's been going for about 20 minutes now. Yeah, I did have a cover on there. And I've stirred it about 3 or 4 times already. The more you stir it, it means the more tougher ones will start going below the liquid there and cooking down. Now here's where you're going to start testing it. You need a paring knife. And you're going to start testing it to make sure your knife can go all the way through. If it cannot, if there's resistance, it means it's still tough. It still needs to continue cooking. If you're running out of liquid, you can add more water if you wanted to, but I'm just going to continue there with the lid on and let that go until it's nice and tender. An hour and 10 minutes later. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to cut it up smaller, it will cook quicker. I ended up adding another cup of water to the mix and I cranked up the heat the last 10 minutes. It is fork tender, it's starting to fall apart. I know the residual heat is going to continue cooking this. Taste it for salt and adjust it accordingly. Sup, soldiers? Listen, if you enjoy this recipe, I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and click that bell notification thing. If you've made the recipe, take a picture and send it to me. Email address down here. I mean, trying to tell people the email address, them butts will take the address and do all kind of thing with it. And tag me on Instagram at Caribbean Pot. I really appreciate you guys and thanks for being in my kitchen with me today. Irene. Now here is where I like finishing off with a bit of chopped cilantro. I might don't have access to shadow benny, or shadow benny would make its way in there. And the other thing I like finishing off with, and I like it spicy, so I'm going to go back with some more of that pepper, that spicy pepper. And the reason why I like adding the pepper at this point as well, so we already have the heat from the start. Here I like to finish it off and I like to get a bit of texture from it all. Now if you wanted to, if we're not doing this vegan, if we're not doing this vegetarian, if we're not doing this ital, and we're stretching the word ital here because ital also means no salt. So anyhow, if you don't want to do it like that, what else can you add? Some flavor. We already have that coconut milk and everything in there. Salted cod, boom, tasting good. Shrimp, boom, tasting good. So it's up to you now to personalize it how you want. Yeah? Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Always a pleasure having you all here in the kitchen with me. Meat Free Monday. I hope you guys love this one. We made some curry papaya.